Howdy, how's it going? My name's Davvy Chappy, and today I'm going to be talking about the Rogue and how it plays in the 5th edition of Dungeons & Dragons, as well as the various subclasses and how they change the way the Rogue is played. Do keep in mind that this guide is aimed towards new players, and that a lot of this is just my opinion, so feel free to change or outright ignore anything you don't like. With that out of the way, let's begin. Alright, so the Rogue is a sneaky bastard that likes to play hide and sneak with everybody and then pop out like a gopher and yell, "Surprise!" But instead of happiness and cake, it's blood and pain. The way that this blood and pain is achieved is through the Rogue's signature move, the Sneak Attack, which adds extra damage onto one of your attacks per turn if you either have advantage on the attack or an ally is next to whoever you're fighting. No matter what type of rogue you play, this ability is your bread and butter, and it ironically means that the rogue doesn't necessarily have to care as much about where they are on the battlefield, but rather where their allies are, as the ally circumstance will normally come up more often than the advantage roll. Now, in terms of weaponry, using a bow means that melee opponents will have a hell of a time getting to you, but if you miss your shot, you're sort of screwed for damage on that turn. Melee rogues are the exact opposite, being technically easier to hit, we'll get to that later, but also being able to attack with the offhand if you have a second weapon, which could potentially be the difference between landing that important sneak attack or doing basically nothing for the round. Now, I say that melee rogues are technically easier to hit, but it's important to remember that all rogues get an absolute butt ton of evasive abilities. From the get-go, they can use their bonus action to stealth, disengage from fights, or hide, and as they go, they will learn how to narrowly dodge attacks for only half damage, they can learn how to dodge area attacks like fireballs, and a bunch of other things that make the rogue really tricky to pin down. But combat isn't the only place where rogues excel. The rogue also takes a couple skills from the list and doubles their proficiency bonus with them, mastering them in ways that the other classes never could. They also get a few utility skills as they level up, such as never rolling below 10, a 10-foot blind sense, and others, which gives the rogue a nice goodie bag of things to play with, and it blends nicely into a lot of different playstyles. For instance, if you're looking to play a skill-focused rogue, then you might want to look at the Thief archetype. The best way to describe the Thief is, well, a thief. Like from the Thief games. In fact, I'm pretty sure they took direct inspiration from the Thief games, since as a thief, you become better at stealing shit, using items both mundane and magical, and you can hide from guards long enough for them to forget you ever existed. Basically, this is the rogue subclass that does the least amount of direct fighting and opts more for a subtle approach to situations. Just don't forget to bring a cardboard box. Now, on the flip side, if you like being sneaky for the express purpose of killing people, then you'll want to look at the Assassin. Despite the name, the Assassin doesn't just lure people into a back alley and do horrible, bloody things to them. It actually helps you immerse yourself in a more espionage style of gameplay. To elaborate, with the exception of the Assassinate ability, which gives you advantage on any attack against someone who hasn't taken their turn yet, and gives that attack advantage, the Assassin's abilities primarily focus on infiltration, letting you craft your own secret double life, letting you mimic someone else's behavior, and so on. Basically, if you're into both role-playing and third-degree murder, you'll love the Assassin. Now, I bet some of you are thinking, I want to be a stealthy boy, but I also want to be an unrepentant cock with the powers of magic dickery. In that case, the Arcane Trickster is for you. Honestly, this class has a lot going on, and all of it is really good. When you pick the archetype, you get 3 cantrips, one of which must be Mage Hand, an enchantment spell, an illusion spell, and 1 spell of your choice, all from the wizard spell list. As you gain more levels, you gain more spells, most of which will have to be enchantments or illusions, but some of which can be from anywhere. Also, the reason why you're forced to pick Mage Hand is because Arcane Tricksters can do things with Mage Hand that everybody else just can't, such as steal shit from a distance, put things in people's pockets from a distance, and disarm traps from a distance. You can also do these things secretly like you would your normal hand, and you can control the Mage Hand as a bonus action, giving you a lot of crazy options based just off of the 1 cantrip. Also, eventually you can use the Mage Hand to circumvent the need for an ally to be near your enemies in order to trigger a sneak attack. In addition, in case that wasn't enough, people who can't see you cast your spells get disadvantage on saving throws against them, and oh, did I mention that you can eventually just plain steal somebody else's spells? Because you can! Point is, Arcane Tricksters are dickery in their most magical form, and pretty much anybody who likes magic and dickery will enjoy playing them. Moving on, we have a few more archetypes that come from Xanathar's Guide to Everything that I'm just going to skim over to give you the general idea of why you'd want to play them, since there are quite a few, and I don't want this video to go on for too long. First, we have the Inquisitive, which is my personal favorite rogue archetype. By the way, you can find it on number 2 in my Xanathar Guys video. And it plays like a hard-boiled Sherlock Holmes. You can tell when people are lying, you can size somebody up to gain your sneak attack on them for a minute, and you can find hidden people and clues easier. Despite putting a lot of focus on being an investigator, it doesn't skimp on still being able to fight, and people who like puzzles and mysteries will really enjoy it. Masterminds can best be described as that one guy from corporate. He doesn't do his own work, but he looks over everyone else and makes sure that they're doing theirs. Also, he's secretly the biggest thief in the office. Masterminds like to think that they're smarter than everybody else, and that's a good thing, because they usually are. You can make it harder for people to tell who you are, either by changing your voice or literally refusing to let people read your mind. You can help others as a bonus action, which makes you a great support class, and you can study someone to just straight up know if their certain stats are better or worse than yours. Again, this class is named the Mastermind in the sense of a person who orchestrates events secretly and non-directly, meaning it'll really find a home in the hands of people who like playing supportive roles. Finally, our last 2 archetypes are the Swashbuckler and the Scout. Swashbuckler has a vaguely pirate theme going on, but it'll really work for anybody who likes to be a dashing, charming swordsman named Inigo Montoya. With the ability to use the sneak attack on anybody in single one-on-one combat, as well as bonuses to initiative based purely off of being just that sexy to look at, the Swashbuckler is great for anybody who wants to play the greatest swordsman who ever lived. The Scout, however, is the exact opposite, never wanting to fight directly and getting a lot of movement bonuses on top of the normal rogue movement bonuses to keep them in a guerrilla warfare theme. They also get bonuses on the first round of combat to help them ambush foes, and they gain proficiency in nature and survival skills, which means that the scout is a great alternative for anybody who might want to play a stealthier, non-magical ranger. But that'll about do it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave a like and comment if you did, and maybe subscribe if you want to be a cool dude. But yeah, Davvy out.